That sounds fair. That's fair.
It will not let me shut down the Insecticons! Megatron, what have you done?
One last fail-safe. In order to shut down the Therotaxis, you must destroy it. You hold the fate of Cybertron in your hands, Prime.
You are correct, Megatron. And I have the courage to make the right decision.
No!
Megatron, I kind of feel like you didn't think this plan through. And the falling robot insects end up destroying the rest of humanity anyway.
What have you done?
The humans will decide their own fate.
What?
Autobots, we have lived on Earth for decades, but I see now that we have not truly accepted Earth as our home, holding out some distant hope that we would return to a newly reforged Cybertron. And maybe one day that will happen. But we cannot continue to live in between worlds. From this day forward, we are no longer Cybertronians who are stranded on another world. Now, we are a part of Earth. And we must treat Earth as though we were forged here. And we must protect our home, no matter the cost.
How are you recovering, Optimus?
I will live, thank you. Fortunately, it appears that Earth will as well. Have you found a way to strengthen our forces?
As I said, it's not without risks.
I was thinking about what I was told. The prophecy on the Proud Star. That there is a way to end the war.
Incoming transmissions. Defensor and Superior.
Protect and serve, Optimus. That's our job.
Like Defensor, we are here to help too. You don't have to do this alone.
To finally rid Earth of the Decepticons. This might just be the price I have to pay.
Say it. Damn it, it didn't say. Okay, this song sucks. Alright, I was hoping they would go with like the original song. Alright, well that was Transformers Devastation. This is where I give my quick off-the-cuff review, give you my thoughts. Overall, I thought it was really good. It was also incredibly short, as you've probably realized watching this. You know, if you're the type who's going to play this game repeatedly, like play on higher difficulties, unlock the challenges, try to get, you know, higher ranks on each of the missions, get all, you know, all that kind of stuff, I think you'll probably get your money's worth out of it. But for anyone who's just going to do a one-time playthrough, I definitely would be very hesitant to suggest this game, unless you are, like me, an old hardcore Transformer fan, and also a fan of spectacle fighters that, you know, PlatinumGames does. So, you know, combat-wise, the combat felt really good. It's very shallow, though, at least compared to other Platinum games, which is okay. It's not a big deal. I wasn't expecting it to be as like in-depth as like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta or whatever. It was fun for what it was. There's definitely different combos that you can do with different button presses, and you know, but for the most part, really the only variation was some of them ended with like an area attack. Some of them would do a knock-up, which would of course be useful. And sometimes you just want to finish a combo fast because you want to use your vehicle attack, especially against those bosses that like didn't get stunned or, you know, like off-put by you attacking them. For that, these short combos were really good. There's not a whole lot of unlocks. Definitely not. Definitely felt like there wasn't much to spend money on at all. Oh, hello. Oh, that's just stuff from earlier with no sound, oddly enough. But yeah, the combat felt really good. As always, it's very responsive. As you know, it feels like a Platinum game as far as it goes, especially with the witch time. The difference between the Autobots, there wasn't like huge differences. The biggest differences were with Grimlock and with Sideswipe. Grimlock definitely played different. He didn't feel anywhere near as mobile as the others, which I'm pretty sure that's as designed. I mean, he could get moving once you got him into Dino mode and TATB and ran, but it just didn't feel as fast. But again, I'm pretty sure that was intended. He was interesting. There's definitely some mechanics I didn't quite get the hang of. For example, with Grimlock, the thing where you dodge, Soundwave, I love you, where you dodge and then immediately hit B, I usually couldn't get that to work, so I wasn't quite sure if I was mistiming the dodge or if I was mistiming the B, or pressing the button. But I also do like that depending on which character you play, it has slightly different dialogue instead of just switching to some default. That was kind of cool. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of that, but it was a nice small touch. But yeah, for the most part, they were mostly the same. And I don't know if it was just he wasn't good for that stage, but the guy, you know the stage I'm talking about, it was basically a boss rush, and I played the guy with like the worst hit points, and it didn't feel like he was doing a whole lot of damage. I think I picked a really bad stage for him. And it wasn't even that bad, it's just that one boss fight was a real pain in the arse with him. But for the most part, you know, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I love the animation style. It definitely doesn't look like the 80s cartoon. People who think this looks like the 80s cartoon need to go back and look at it, because it doesn't look this good. But that's fine by me. It's got, you know, it's still the Generation 1 characters, or the ones that I grew up with. So it was really awesome to play those and hear the original voice actors for Prime and Megatron. I'm not sure if it was the same for Starscream. He sounded a little off, but keep in mind, I haven't watched Transformers since like the late 80s, early 90s, so, you know, give me a little bit of slack there. Wow, a lot of, yes, Peter Cullen is Optimus Prime. Soundwave was definitely different, because I'm like 90% sure that the voice actor for Soundwave is dead, I believe. And his voice is synthesized anyway, so. But, story-wise, you know, it's pretty standard cartoon stuff. Nothing too deep, though I think the ending was pretty good. I actually like the ending where Prime really had to make a pretty damn big sacrifice in order to save Earth. Though I don't think Megatron thought that through all the way. It definitely feels like... I guess he honestly thought Prime wouldn't destroy it if it came down to it. But he was quite wrong, apparently. And obviously, we all know what Prime would have done, because he has the strength to do it. The stage variety... Oh, hold on. We got a little after credits. That looks a little bit more CG-ish. Yeah, that robot I'm also not familiar with. Like, I remember stuff like, oh, I missed Mission 7. Still managed to get an A, though. That's not awful. But I remember, like, Galvatron, when Megatron got his ass kicked and became Galvatron. I remember, you know, the planet guy whose name now, of course, escapes me, so I look bad. But anyway, yeah, going back to my kind of mini review. Stages were a little bleh. I mean, the first few stages were the same place over and over again with slightly different variations. I didn't care too much, though, because I mostly just want to fight enemy robots. Like, that's what I want to do. I don't really care that much. It wasn't as linear as I figured it would be, and it, in a way, and it's going to sound odd, in a way, it actually, I think that was kind of a negative, because I kept wanting to look around for hidden areas and stuff, and in this type of game, I'm in a different mindset. I kind of want to just go, fight. Yeah, let's, you know, get into the action. It would be like going to a Stallone movie and having like 20 minutes of like character backdrop. It's like, well, I don't want that. I want to see fighting and action and shooting and all this stuff. So I kind of come into these types of games with a different mentality. So when I run into that, it throws me off. If I feel like it breaks the gameplay flow for me personally. So the more open world was a little, and I say open world very, very lightly. There was just not a straight path like it was in a lot of other games. But it wasn't necessarily a bad thing. There wasn't a lot of, like I said, there wasn't a lot to spend your money on. You could synthesize weapons. I wasn't expecting that. I definitely was not expecting like the weapon upgrade systems and being able to build those little items that you use for boosts, like, 10% extra focus time or something like that. That was a cool addition. I didn't really fiddle with it a whole lot, but I could see how that could be very important on higher difficulty rating or difficulty settings. Some things I didn't like the stages or the areas where they did the overhead view. I understand they were just trying to do something different. I didn't like it though. I didn't like it at all. Like, it was just hard to see. I'm mostly playing this game other than it being Transformers, and I geek out over Transformers stuff. I want to really experience and dig deep into the combat, and having to deal with that, like artificial. I don't even know if it's difficulty. It's a different chain, so you have to learn their animations, what they look like from that angle. So it wasn't like, and it was artificial, right? There was no reason why you were in that perspective. So it felt just kind of like forced in that they wanted to just do something different to be different. And it wasn't really all that fun. Flying enemies were also a huge pain in the ass, especially given the ridiculously low amount of ammo pretty much all guns have, except for a few that have like 200 ammo. The flying enemies were just a huge pain in the ass and not really a great way to deal with them. But overall, I liked it a lot. Like I say, again, I'm biased because I'm a PlatinumGames fan and I am a big Transformer G1. And again, I probably should say I'm a huge fan because I haven't watched the show in like 20 years. But to be honest, or 25 years actually, probably something like that. But to be honest, I'm kind of afraid to watch the old show because you know how some things you think back with a kid, like as you watch as a kid, it's, oh, that's great. It was awesome. I want to see it again. Then you watch it and it turns out it's god awful. I did that with Super Mario Brothers Super Show, and I can't watch that show anymore because it was god awful. But anyway, I'm rambling now. As far as a score is what I would give this game. Off the top of my head, I would say maybe about a 7.5. It is very short, but the combat does feel tight. It does feel good. The pacing was pretty good. The enemy variety was all right. But like I said, it was too short. There wasn't quite enough depth to the combat, and especially given the price. If this would have been like a $20 game, I think I'd have been a lot more like, okay, well, it's all right that the combat show, and I mostly am okay with it being shallow. But I feel like, again, I'm biased because I love the Transformers so much. If this was some other property that I didn't care about, I would be probably really disappointed. So again, keep that in mind. But yeah, the length, and again, I'm the type who will probably go back and play this on hard difficulty, so it's about a 7.5 for me. As far as price, how much I think you should buy this game for, if you are a hardcore, or if you just absolutely have really fond memories of Generation 1 Transformers and you've played other Platinum games so you know what to expect, I would say around full price. Like, I feel like I got my like nostalgia dose, and I like it enough that I might, even if I don't do a full playthrough, I might go back and do a few other stages, just once in a while for funsies. I'd say about full price. If you are a big fan of both, like you really need to be a big fan of both to play though. If you only like one or the other, like you only really like Platinum games, but you're not really into the Transformers thing, 25 to 30, I think would be a fair price. If you really like Transformers, but you're not familiar with Platinum games, that's a much harder thing to suggest because you have to like the spectacle fighter type game, I think, to really enjoy this. You can definitely button mash a lot of this. I didn't die that much to bosses, though I've played these games a lot. But there's a lot of items you can use for defense. You can use it from health, things like that. So, and I didn't use them just because I wanted a better score and because I just don't like to use them in this type of game. But but they're there for you if you're running into, because some of the bosses actually do get a little bit tough on the normal difficulty, and of course there's always the easier difficulty as well. But yeah, like if you just like spectacle fighters in general, and you don't really have strong feelings one way or the other on Transformers, I'd say around 20 to 25 would be about the most I would say to give this. Unless, again, it seems like the type of game you would play a lot over and over. Maybe play a little bit more. Anyway, again, feel like I'm rambling on. It's because I am. So let's go ahead and let's move on. Actually, confirm. Did that. The fusion cannon from, I presume, Megatron. Ooh, a Star Saber. That's pretty sweet. Alright, the rest of these are going to be regular weapons. It's like that. Not terrible. The first chapter I throw out because it was me getting back into it. Confirm. What does that do? Oh, it just leaves the screen. Oh, nice. And he says it now. That's pretty cool. Supposedly you can do a level select. Oh, select the chapter. Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So you can do chapter select. And it keeps up with your score. See, that kind of stuff I love. So I can go in and try to get better scores, play through with different characters, things like that. That's why I'm really going to dig into if I can get some time. But anyway, enough from me. Thank you guys again for watching. Make sure to leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought of this series. And I will see you next time.